Hello, 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 everyone. This is Sean 77986. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday evening. Well, this game is over. This game is in the books. Yes, the Pittsburgh Steelers have managed to survive a very scary situation as they defeated the Detroit Lions 29 to 24, improving the Pittsburgh Steelers record to 9-6 while the Detroit Lions dropped to 8-7. Now, normally I'd be like, well, this is well. Now, normally I usually do the whole okay. Without I say this, I gotta go to the. I do a little tidbit, a jig right here, and then I get to the stats. Usual stuff I always do. But I have to put out something that needs to be put out. Thanks to the Detroit Lions losing this game, the Chicago Bears and the San Francisco 49ers have clinched a playoff spot in the playoffs. Yes. Like, seriously, who would have thought that a Lions loss will help both teams get into the playoffs? And of all the teams that got into the playoffs this year, it's the Chicago Bears? Huh. Like I said, this whole season's on meth. I can't even say they're on crack and say, now go home and smoke some more crack. Because they're not on crack, they're on goddamn meth. This isn't normal. But on meth, it is. Okay, that line I got from a PSA. It's on YouTube. You definitely got to check it out. Trust me, it'll give you nightmares. And not the good kind, mind you. But moving right along. Yes, this was a game that was so crazy, and like I said, this game could have ended in many ways, shape, or form if it weren't for two boneheaded penalties that Pittsburgh did. But I think Pittsburgh survived this game because, well, obviously, the last play with only 6 seconds left of the clock, there was a penalty, and Detroit scored a touchdown. However, after a long-ass conversation with many refs, the refs came out to say that it was a pass interference on the offense on the Detroit Lions. And so you know that is not reviewable and there's no replay of it. By rule, the game was over. So a lot of people say Pittsburgh. Now you got two people who are going to be on this whole situation. And we're going to say Pittsburgh and the refs screwed Detroit Lions on one side. Mostly Detroit fans, because to them it's like you can't win shit in Detroit or can't have shit in Detroit. Or if you're on the Pittsburgh side of things, they'll probably be all like, well, no, Detroit Lions screwed the Detroit Lions. Me, it was like, what the fuck? I am so bad. Okay, let's take a look at the stats. Aaron Rodgers completed 27 of his 41 passes for 266 yards, got one touchdown, no interceptions, was sacked twice, got a QBR rating of 92.1. Jared Goff had completed 34 of his 54 passes for 364 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, was sacked 3 times, and have a QBR rating of 101.2. Jalen Warren had completed 14 of his 143 passes for completed 14 carries for 143 rushing yards for 2 touchdowns. Gabriel had 9 carries for 50 yards. Judo Smith had 2 carries for 28 yards, and Aaron Rodgers had 2 carries for 9 yards. Jameson Williams had 5 receptions for 70 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 10 receptions for 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Khalif Raymond had 4 receptions for 62 yards, 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 4 receptions for 54 yards. Isaiah Tasik had 4 receptions for 52 yards, 1 touchdown. Anthony Firkins had 4 receptions for 40 yards. Oh, wait, shoot, I messed up. Let me rephrase that. Okay, David Montgomery had 4 carries for 14 yards. Jahmyr Gibbs had 7 carries for 2 yards. And Jared Goff had 1 carry for -1 yard. Gabe will have 5 receptions for 78 yards and a touchdown. Adam Thielen had 4 receptions for 49 yards. DK Metcalf had 4 receptions for 42 yards. Darrell Washington had 3 receptions for 36 yards. Pat Furman had 4 receptions for 20 yards. Scott Miller had 3 receptions for 19 yards. Jalen Warren had 2 receptions for 8 yards. Calvin Austin III had 1 reception for 8 yards. Marquez Valdes-Scantling had 1 reception for 6 yards. And Juno Smith, he was just there because he's Arthur Smith's crack. Jameson Williams has 5 receptions for 70 yards. Jameer Gibbs had 10 receptions for 66 yards, 1 touchdown. Khalid Raymond had 4 receptions for 62 yards, 1 touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown had 4 receptions for 54 yards. Isaac Tessia had 4 receptions for 52 yards, a touchdown. Anthony Friskin had 4 receptions for 40 yards. And Sadie Willard had 3 receptions for 20 yards. Pittsburgh had 481 total yards, and the Lions 361 total yards. Detroit had 346 passing yards to Pittsburgh's 251 passing yards. Pittsburgh had 230 rushing yards to Detroit 15 rushing yards. Like seriously though, Pittsburgh's defense held the Lions to 15 rushing yards. That shit's not normal, and that shit's kind of insane. And Pittsburgh had 6.9 yards per play to the Lions 5.2 yards per play. Both teams had 23 first downs. Pittsburgh was 8-16 on third down, while the Lions were 6-15 on third down. Pittsburgh were 2-2 on fourth down, while the Lions were 1-2 on fourth down. Pittsburgh ran a total of 70 plays, while the Lions ran a total of 69 plays. Nice. Lions had allowed 3 sacks. Pittsburgh allowed 2 sacks. Both teams punted the rock 3 times. Pittsburgh racked up 8 penalties that cost them 89 yards. Lions racked up 7 penalties that cost them 40 yards. Pittsburgh lost the fumble. Lions didn't. Neither team threw an interception. And Pittsburgh dominated the top possession at 34-06 to the Lions 25-54. Lions had 37 tackles, while Pittsburgh had 34 tackles. Lions were 1-1 in field goals, while the Pittsburgh was 2-3 on field goals. And in the red zone, Lions were 1-4 in the red zone, while Pittsburgh was 0-3 in the red zone. So yeah, this game is gonna really set back the Lions in more ways than one, because this was a game that they had to win in order to stay alive. And now it's gonna get a hell of a lot harder. It's gonna get a hell of a lot harder to get in because now they have to win their final 2 games. They have to win their final 2 games. They have to win their final 2 games, and they have to win their final 2 games, and they would need some help. And that's the hardest part. They always need help. As for Pittsburgh, well, I'm just gonna say what everybody else is saying too. The bullshit is real. You can try. Y'all can call me bull. Y'all can say everything you want. You can try to deny it, but everybody and their mama know that the bullshit is indeed real, because there was no fucking, because I thought in my eyes that this game was gonna be it. I thought this game was gonna be like, yeah, this is gonna be crazy. I thought this game was gonna be over, because when Detroit got the ball, it's like okay, but that offensive pass interference really killed them, man. And somehow Pittsburgh always finds a way to bullshit their way to another win. I mean, shoot, I wouldn't be too fucking surprised if somehow Mike Tomlin managed to bullshit his way to another wild card with a 9-8 record, because you know that shit's happening, right? You know that shit's gonna happen, and so yeah. As much as it pains me to say this, and I know my uncle is pissed off because he's a Ravens fan. By the way, the Ravens are getting ready to play right now. The Ravens are playing against the Patriots right now, and the Ravens. And as I'm recording this, the Ravens are on the field. They're getting ready to ball out. They're fighting for their playoff lives, while the Patriots are trying to close in and try to get another to get into the playoffs. But, there it is. But either way, I mean, congratulations, Pittsburgh, for once again finding some way to that's victory from the jars of defeat. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I will tell you this: you can't be relying on that bullshit all long enough. So now that that's taken care of, let's take a look at the scores from all the games that are wrapping up. Better wrap that up, beat. Better wrap that up, beat. So here are some games that are finally that are wrapping up. The Jacksonville Jaguars have defeated the Denver Broncos 34-20, which that win marks them their 11th win, and this is the first time the Jacksonville Jaguars racked up 11 wins in a season since 2007. The Atlanta Falcons have defeated the Arizona Cardinals 26-19. The Houston Texans have defeated the Las Vegas Raiders 23-21. That was a close game. That was really, really a close game. No lie, man. No lie. And now we got to get to the playoff pictures. The playoff pictures. Playoffs? Playoffs? Are you kidding me? Playoffs? Don't talk to me about playoffs. And oh my God. Well, in the NFC, we already got a full dance card here. As you can see, in the NFC department in the playoff picture, we got the Seahawks, the Bears, the Eagles, the Rams, and the Niners getting playoff spots. That means you only got 2 playoff spots available, and so far the 4 teams who are fighting to get the final 2 spots are the Carolina Panthers, the Green Bay Packers, the Detroit Lions, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, in the AFC, the Broncos are the only team that clinched a playoff berth. And so far, the teams who currently hold the wild card spots are the New England Patriots, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Pittsburgh Steelers, the LA Chargers, the Bills, and the Texans, with the Colts and the Ravens on the outside looking in. So yeah, this is going to be coming down to wire, and I'm going to end this video right now, but right now we got a touchdown. Derrick Henry scored a touchdown. Designed cover 65 plays, and it only took just 5 beautiful plays. It only took 2:39 off the clock. Like I said, Ravens are fighting for their playoff lives, so they are playing this game like there's no tomorrow. So that's all I gotta say for right now. But let me know what y'all think on this one. As always, be sure to leave a comment, like this video, subscribe to the channel, click notification bell so don't miss an update. Share with friends, share with neighbors, share with others, and that's about it. Yeah. What up? This is Sean 71969. Catch you later. Peace. Friggin' Pittsburgh.